Welcome to Lagniappe, a program about events, issues, and people. I'm Cory, Crowe. I'm joined today by Victoria Steffens, Zoie Gadsen, and Madeline Hodge. And we're talking today about the Strauss Youth Academy for the Arts, the SYAA production of Bright Star. Welcome. Thank you both all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You are coming up on Bright Star, and it's a play that I'm not very familiar with. So, Victoria, tell me a little bit about Bright Star. What made you choose this play?
Ooh, a lot of good questions. So this is a musical written by Steve Martin and Edie Brickell, and it follows the story, actually a true story of the Iron Mountain Baby. So a few reasons why I chose it. One, because I wanted to push our actors in terms of getting to an emotional state where they understand the character, but doing it in a healthy way. And for the fact that, as far as I know, this community, this area has not seen Bright Star before, and it is also something different from what we have done, since it is more of a southern and bluegrass type of feel.
Now, this is Steve Martin, the comedian?
Yes, yep, that's him.
And he's, by the way, a great bluegrass banjo player. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, on the Tony Awards a few years ago for this show, he was actually playing banjo on stage for the opening number.
So, Zoie, you play Alice Murphy, who is the protagonist. The show's double cast, and we're going to talk with Madeline as well. Tell me a little bit about Alice Murphy and playing this role.
Right, so Alice, like you said, is the main protagonist, and in the show we go from her present, which is the 1940s, and her past in the 1920s, and we go back and forth, and we see some highs and lows in her past, and as the play goes on, the stories start to merge, and some questions that you had about her past start being answered in the present, and then the theme of hope is finally redeemed at the end, and it's just a really nice, satisfying ending.
Usually when I think about Strauss and youth plays, I think, Victoria, of plays that are a little more youthful. This one's kind of an adult play for kids, right?
Oh, yeah. It definitely handles some more adult themes like pregnancy before marriage and alcohol. There are a few more themes in there, but that's why the workshop is for ages 13 to 18. Those are the performers' age range, rather than extending it to our 8-year-old crowd.
Madeline Hodge is with us. Madeline, you are also playing Alice Murphy, the show being double cast. And Zoie was talking about the highs and the lows of this play. Let's talk a little bit about that. What are some of the high points that Alice gets to experience?
Yeah, so I play Alice Murphy in the Raleigh cast, and her highs and lows are all throughout the show. Probably one thing that would touch on the mature audience would be Alice in the 1920s. She gets pregnant, and she gives birth to a beautiful baby boy, and both of the parents agree that it's best for her to give the baby up for adoption. So against her will, she gets the baby taken from her. So we highly suggest, if you are going to bring your kids to the show, just be aware that there are going to be some touchy subjects that happen during the show.
Zoie, usually when you go see a play, it always turns out and has a big happy ending, and it all works out okay, and you know, like a fairy tale. Does this turn out that way for Alice? Does it turn out okay?
Fortunately, it does. It has a really happy ending, and you worry that it won't, because there's just so many emotional parts in the show, but in the end it does have a happy ending, and that'll leave our audience very cheerful and smiling, I believe.
The musical is coming up with multiple shows. Victoria, when can folks see this production?
Well, it actually only runs one weekend, which will be this upcoming weekend. So that's Friday, July 22nd at 7 p.m., Saturday, July 23rd at 2 p.m., Saturday, July 23rd at 7 p.m., and then our final show will be Sunday, July 24th at 3 p.m.
You guys have had a lot going on over in the theater for the last few days. Tell me a little bit about what's been happening over there, because some folks may not know what's been going on.
Yes, so at the beginning of the summer, we had our workshop from ages 8 to 12, which was the Lightning Thief musical. So it was a good time for our younger students to be able to stretch their acting legs on something where they weren't also competing with the other older students. We recently had a workshop with French and Vanessa Stewart, who I know you mentioned that Stoneface from Mainstage had come in and talked. Vanessa actually wrote that as well. So it's been a very productive, very busy, I would think, summer.
I mean, that's a big deal for young actors to have a chance to mix with people that are, doing it for real and on that kind of level.
Exactly.
That's really, really neat. Zoie, tell me something about this play. I was curious when you guys started getting ready to do this production, and how do you get into this role of playing someone in this situation?
Yeah, so it's really hard, especially if you can't relate to the character and their the things they've went through. So really, we just dive deep into the character, do a lot of analyzing, like why did she feel this way? Why did she do this? Or what would cause her to think this? And so it just takes a lot of analyzing to try to get the emotional depth that we need on stage.
Madeline, we're out of time, but I want to ask quickly, how have you grown as an actress with this role?
Yeah, so this role has really pushed my acting abilities, and I think as I go to college, I'm really going to use all these tactics that Victoria has taught us throughout the course.
The play is called Bright Star, the musical going on at the Strauss Youth Academy for the Arts. Victoria, again, for folks to get tickets and find out more about this production, where do they go?
They can go to either our Facebook page, which is Strauss Youth Academy for the Arts, or they can go to our website at SYAA.com, where tickets will be $10 for students and $15 for adults.
To find out more about this and other events, be sure and visit our website at KEDM.org. Still to come on KEDM's Morning Edition, we'll take